Marty and Avrum, the food, the guys, the food, the guys. We are here with Rosemary. You are a very driven woman.
Yeah.
And your family is very successful. Your other sister too?
My sister is
And your
very
brother?
successful. My sister actually is a full-time event planner.
Right.
So she doesn't do event decor, because
Yeah.
I used to do event decor, and she did planning. When I sold the business, No Nest Croquettes happened, as I mentioned,
right.
as we talked about before.
Yeah, they're delicious.
But she is a full-time event planner and extremely successful, very, very good at it.
How come your whole family's successful? Your parents?
Where did
they come from?
My parents were very driven. My
Were
father,
they?
yeah, I think I mentioned this before. My father had a very hard life growing up.
Yeah.
And he was very driven, but it's funny, I never, ever in a million, never once did I ever hear my father complain
Really?
about his life never. He never said, well, I never got this, or I never had this, or,
But all the children are very driven.
and I think that attests to my parents,
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And also the fact that, again, like I mentioned, the child labor, they had to bring us to work. We wouldn't stay with babysitters. So, when we were there, what were we going to do? It was our playground.
Yeah.
The banquet hall was our playground. We would go, we would set up tables, we would run around the building, we'd play hide and seek.
But when you were a kid, were you driven?
Yeah.
And Carlo was driven too.
Carlo was probably more driven than me, most
Right.
definitely. He did the paper routes. I remember, for Christmas he wanted political science books and books on business and stuff like that. But those were the gifts we would
So
get.
you think it depends on the family, the parents?
I do.
Yeah.
And, obviously there are times where it doesn't.
Right.
Some people are just driven.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Wow.
your environment, what
Your
you
br-
see.
Yeah, your brother and you are both. That's your
my
brother right over
That's
there.
my brother
I think
right
he's
over
going to
there.
join
Yeah,
us.
yeah. No, we're all very driven. But like I said, I think Carlo,
Yeah.
come here. I think Carlo was extremely driven as a child. He was always into, starting small businesses and whatnot.
Yeah.
He was always. Listen,
There he is.
I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
I'll tell you a story.
Now
When my
this is
brother-
the brother.
Yes, this is
and
my
this
brother.
is the sister.
So
I had to jump in because I heard, I'm going to tell a story, so
yeah.
please,
I had to- wait.
it stands corrected.
No. This
Story.
is a true story.
Yeah.
So one year for Christmas, my brother, he was in his early 20s,
Yeah.
and he was in university or just out of university. He started selling life insurance
Right.
or insurance.
Yeah.
And he was always trying. I was a kid. I'm 4 years younger
Yeah.
than him, right? So I was like 16, 17. He's like, "You got to buy life insurance." I'm like, "Life insurance?"
Told me to sell everybody.
So anyways, so he's like insisting I
selling
buy.
you. You're
Insisting that I
16-year-old.
yeah. He's insisting I buy life insurance. I said, "Leave me alone. You're crazy. I barely got any money to put gas in the car."
Yeah.
So what does he do for Christmas? He buys me a life insurance policy.
How
He
old
says-
were you?
16 or 17.
What are you going to do with a life insurance?
Wait. This gets better. So I said, he says, "Do you have a checking account?" And I was like, I don't even think I did. I went and opened up a
So he
checking
wanted you to
account.
pay for it. It wasn't a gift.
So I didn't know that. So when he gave me the policy, he goes,
Yeah.
"I paid for the first installment." He goes, "You've got to pay from here." I said, "So let me get this straight. You bought me a gift that I got to pay for the rest of my life? And you made a commission off of it?"
So did you pay?
I think I paid for a year and said, "Screw him."
I wonder who the beneficiary was.
Probably him.
Probably him.
Probably
What
him.
keeps
This
you-
is how driven they are.
What keeps you guys so close, your other sister? What is
Our
it?
parents made us
Yeah.
strong.
Well, we've had our battles, but
Oh,
I think
for
we
sure.
get over them. Like it's like the next day, "He's stupid. What are you doing?"
Do you have to work at being close?
You do.
You do?
You do. And I think at the end of the day,
Respect.
and
Yeah.
we understand that this too shall pass. Obviously, you're going to have differences.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. Families are going to have differences.
Right.
Those, with all due respect to families who don't speak, your reasons are your reasons. I don't understand that. I have a really hard time understanding how anything could be so bad
Yeah.
that you cannot work it out
It's
with your
sometimes,
blood
you know,
relative.
what happens when you're a child, things develop and they get more and more and more.
And people bury it, and they
But
bury
that
it.
resentment is what you're carrying.
That's right.
That is not, that resentment and that anger is gonna have no effect on your sibling that you're
Yeah.
angry with. It's an anger that you're gonna carry with for the rest of your life. So do you wanna carry
Right.
that?
No, it's like
You know-
it's like a dark cloud.
It's a dark cloud that's on you, not on the person that you're angry with.
If you were to describe Carlo, what would you say about his qualities, and what would you say about your wife? You were
Oh,
your
hey,
sister.
relax.
Sorry.
You go first, because I want to hear what you have
Okay,
to say.
what do you say? What are the
Oh, I
qualities?
don't know. Rosemary's also well driven as well, because her
Yeah.
parents gave us that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Because my dad, lost his father during the war.
Yeah.
And had to go to markets, and he learned all the little tricks of selling as a vendor. And they call it in Italy, it's vendatore ambulante. Ambulante mean like mobile,
Yeah.
right? So he's doing these, setting up every weekend, different villages, different towns,
Yeah.
and selling shoes, the shoes that he made. And so he'd tell us stories, and he was always driven, right? So it wasn't never about getting the job, it was about making the job, and
Right.
getting it. So we learned about that. So as a kid, we learned about that. Obviously, I'm a little bit older, so I would do things. I would have, like obviously lemonade, not obviously, but lemonade stands,
Yeah.
and then I would have,
We probably charge you $5.
and then I would do what do you call it?
We did
A
scary
Wonderland,
houses,
scary
yeah,
houses in the garage,
garage.
string and charge 10 cents, and people come through the scary house, and then I would have not a circus, but sort of like rides
Yeah.
and things on the driveway. I would paint
Yes,
things,
yes.
chalk things,
Wow.
and charge 10 cents admission. Carnival. That's
Wow,
what
Yeah,
you were
we-
an
we-
entrepreneur
We
at
would do a
7 years
carnival.
old.
Yeah. We would do the carnival. I
selling
remember that.
newspapers, delivering the
And you
Toronto
did
Sun,
those things
delivering the
with
Toronto Star.
Rosemary all the time?
We used to do a lot of those things together because we were closer in age. My sister
Right.
was 7 years younger than me, 11
Yeah.
years younger than him. So it was always him and I doing these
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
What does Carlo mean to you? What is he? Is he like?
He was an older brother, but I wouldn't say he was a protective older brother. He was always a reason. I'd be like, Carl, that guy's really driving me crazy, or that he'd be like, you need to talk, negotiate. All right, time to
Negotiate.
negotiate, discuss it, and it on. I just wanted to punch their lights out.
when people call and hang up, people call and hang up, they knew who it was. Right? It was before call display. So she thinks, I know it's that girl. Don't call her back. Just think, what do you mean? I gotta call her back and hang up too. No, you're not. Remember?
Carla was always the rational one who would just.
We'd get into a fight, she'd take the TV remote and want to throw it. Broke it once, got into big trouble. The second time is like, wait a
Because
minute.
I could never win.
So
I could
just
never
say we get
win.
into a fight. We're like kids, and we get into a fight. And she's about to throw something. I do it like a pause.
Yeah,
Like direct
you would.
pause. Stop.
We're not gonna have a remote.
Don't throw the remote. Here. This is heavier. Here's the phone. Here's something. Or here's a rock. Take the rock, and I'd go, okay, action. She'd look at me and go, what the fuck?
It's true.
You
What
two are
the
like
hell?
infectious.
Like, yeah,
was
action.
so
Now you can throw the
rational.
rock. Or at least the rock won't break the remote.
Oh, but
We can use it.
sometimes he would beat the heck out of me, and I'd have to lock myself in the bathroom.
Really?
And then I couldn't win.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, and then sometimes he would get really mad, and then I wouldn't win. I would never win the fight because obviously he was stronger than me. So one time I said to myself, I'm getting this guy good. So remember when I put the pins on your chair
No.
and your desk? I taped
Thumbtacks?
thumbtacks on his chair.
And he sat down on the thumbtacks. You two are mischievous. You know what?
And then we used to,
Now the stories come
then
out.
we used to pea shoot all the neighbors that used to come
No,
in. Remember?
really?
So we
You're a little rascal.
Oh, he would hide. He drilled holes in the wall so that the pea shoot would go through. He would hide in the cross space, and I would be hiding.
My dad's friends would come over. They'd be sitting
Yeah.
on the couch watching TV, and through the hole.
So
Really?
we would have walkie-talkies. I would be on top of the fridge because there was like a little view
had
on
a
top
whole
of the
team
fridge.
working
Yeah,
there.
so I'd be on top of the fridge. He'd be in the cross space, and we'd both have our pea shooters, and we'd have the walkie-talkies. Okay, he's coming.
Oh
and
my
the guy
God.
would just like get it in the head and be like, "Where'd that come from?"
You
What else
were
are you gonna
like
do
a-
as a kid? What's that to do?
We had to make
Saturday
our own
afternoon.
games. We didn't have video games.
Wow, you two
That
are
was our
very-
video game.
Yeah, that was our video game. Yeah,
This
we
is
were
a real Italian family that plays together, works together, and laughs together. And it's so nice to see, what goes on between the two of you now, the respect and all these
I
memories.
don't always respect him. Sometimes
No,
I
of
want to
course
smack
not.
him out
It
still.
looks good on the
We're
camera.
still my brother.
We're going to find out more about this loving couple. Not couple, but
Brother and
relationship.
sister.
Brother and sister. I keep thinking you're his wife.
No, God, no.
This is a family that really is very interesting. as far as their achievements, their goals. And I guess it's about sticking together.
You have to.
Exactly.
Stay
Yeah.
together.
You have to.